that I was going to live stream walking across the Potomac River via the bridge from Shepherdstown, West Virginia to Sharpsburg, Maryland. And I ended this stream about a half an hour ago because the walk from Main Street in Shepherdstown back up to the bridge was quite a long walk. It took another 35-ish minutes, 40 minutes to walk back up here. So here I am, live streaming again, capturing the walk. This is the Bavarian Inn. This is, and you'll see it when we get closer to the river, this is an inn that overlooks the Potomac River. This is beautiful. Remind me to never do a back-to-back-to-back live stream again, but I do realize I didn't do what I said I was going to do and walk across the river, so I do want to document that. And you're going to see a ton of traffic here, unfortunately. Lots of traffic. So I'm coming from, hi again, Daily. I know, I didn't want to continue the stream all the way up here to this bridge because, as you could see, it took me 40 minutes to get back up here from where I was, and about to walk across the Potomac River from Shepherdstown, West Virginia into Maryland. So here on the West Virginia side, you'll be able to see it better when I get on the bridge. And finally, I'm walking downhill. This whole day, I swear, I've been walking uphill. And there's the sign. Shepherdstown, West Virginia, Potomac River. Tons of traffic. This is a beautiful scenic walk. It is loud. And traffic is supposed to be 35 miles an hour here. There is no way these people are driving 35 miles an hour. I know. Sorry, Daily. Feel free to leave. I don't want to drag people across the Potomac River with me, but I did want to finish. I like to finish what I start. And you'll get a view of the river in a minute. Am I hitchhiking? Ha ha. Hi, Kelly. No, I'm not hitchhiking. I am walking. Okay, so I have just left, and this is the problem. This is why I didn't turn around before. Obviously, sunset is right before us, so I'm shooting straight into the sun. But what you see here is there's the sign for West Virginia, Jefferson County. This is the Bavarian Inn, which is an inn that overlooks the Potomac River. And then here on the West Virginia side, here are the historic markers. Yes, hey Jamie, yes, West Virginia. So I'm in Shepherdstown, and I just live streamed on the main street. I'm sorry, the traffic is horrible. And I was going to continue to live stream to go across from West Virginia to Maryland, but it was like a 40-minute walk. So obnoxious. So I stopped the stream until I got here closer to the bridge, so you won't have to listen to so much traffic for the entire walk. But yeah, I'm in Shepherdstown. We just streamed from the main street. Thank you for joining me, Daily. Hello, Raul, and thank you for joining from India. So now I am up on the bridge, and on a very hot summer day when I've been hiking here, you'll see pretty soon there's a pool. It's kind of like it has an infinity part. You won't see any water in it, and you can't really see it. It's that little concrete structure next to that chalet over there. But in the summer, when it's 100 degrees, that pool just looks so inviting. Like to kind of crash in the Bavarian Inn. But here's the Potomac River. So during the Civil War, we're taught that the dividing line between the North and the South is the boundary between the northern boundary of Maryland and the southern boundary of Pennsylvania, which is the Mason-Dixon line. But really and truly, the true natural boundary between North and South is this river here, the Potomac River. Units from the Confederacy and the Union had to cross this river multiple times, so many times during the war. And you can see the remnants of bridges here, just in the foreground, or I'm sorry, in the front. Yeah, is that the foreground? Background, foreground. Right here in the front, the remnants of these bridges were constantly destroyed and rebuilt during the war, depending on whether you needed to cross the river or prevent your enemy from crossing the river. And this is a great place to kind of see that. The monument you see on the right side of the river, that's a monument to the Battle of Shepherdstown. This battle took place right after the Battle of Antietam. It was a rather limited affair because both armies were completely devastated after the Battle of Antietam, and it's called the bloodiest day in American history for a reason. 22,000 soldiers in one day, killed, injured, or missing. And they decided to engage again here at Shepherdstown, and then when they really recognized the extent of the loss on both sides regrouped for a while. And so there's some remnants of bridges. And then the bridge that you do see in the background there, that iron bridge, that's an old railroad bridge between West Virginia and Maryland. Now, technically, I probably didn't show it, but before I got on this bridge was the sign for Maryland, because the border between West Virginia and Maryland, as well as the border between Virginia and Maryland, is not the middle of the Potomac River. It's the bank of the Potomac River is Maryland. Maryland, quote, owns the Potomac River. So once you're over or in the Potomac River, you are in Maryland. You must be on the banks to be in another state, whether that's Virginia or West Virginia. The Potomac River continues, meets up with the Shenandoah River at Harper's Ferry. The Shenandoah River runs north from the south. So the Shenandoah River runs up. So if you are traveling south from Harper's Ferry, you are going up the Shenandoah. And if you're traveling north from, say, Newmarket or Harrisonburg, you're traveling down the Shenandoah. I know it's confusing. But I just wanted to live stream, because I said I was going to live stream this part. I just wanted to live stream crossing the Potomac. And this beautiful view at sunset, despite the traffic. My God, it's so loud. It's so loud. So parallel to the Potomac River is the C&O Canal. The Chesapeake and Ohio Canal runs from Washington, D.C., all the way to Cumberland, Maryland. It was used for transporting coal and other goods from Ohio and Western Maryland down into the city, and for transporting manufactured goods from the city back up into the Ohio and Maryland areas. Unfortunately for the canal began construction in 1828, the very same year that the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad began. So the canal was obsolete pretty much from the minute it started, with the railroad taking over the transport of goods and services. But what we have today, the canal towpath, has been preserved as a national park. So this national park runs all the way from Washington, D.C. to Cumberland, Maryland, over 180 miles. I think it's 180 miles. And I've hiked probably a little more than half of it. And I have an urge to be a completist, so I want to hike every single mile marker on the C&O Canal. And down here you can see the parking area. You can't really see the canal from here. The canal is dry in this area. There's no water in the canal. You can see the boat launch over there. In West Virginia, the Potomac is small. It's narrow. It's shallow. And there are a number of fords across. This is called Pack House Ford, where the armies, once these bridges were down, had to ford from that boat ramp over there to, you can see a little ramp over here. But I'm going to end the stream because this traffic is so flippin' annoying. And I'm going to enjoy this view. Hey, Abe. Hey, Abe, I'm crossing the Potomac River. I just walked from West Virginia to Maryland. I've had a long day of hiking. It's my second live stream for the day. And I'm glad that a few folks could join me here. It's a beautiful day, but this traffic is absolutely obnoxious here on this beautiful bridge. And oh, here's a good view. So you can see the canal. That's the Chesapeake and Ohio Canal. It's dry. There's no water in it. There is a lock. It's called the river lock. It's where river water would be let into the canal. And you can see the path. I don't want to get my phone too close or I'll lose it. You can see the pathway. That is a trail, a hiking trail that goes all the way from Washington, D.C. to Cumberland, Maryland. Over 180 miles of trail, all because the canal became obsolete. So just like Rails to Trails projects, where obsolete railroads have been converted to trails, here the towpath next to the Chesapeake and Ohio Canal has become a hiking path. And it's wonderful. You start out in Georgetown. Mile 0 is in Georgetown in Washington, D.C. There are places where it's complete wilderness, and there are places where there are little towns where the canal passes by little towns. There are wonderful parks. There are nature preserves along the canal. Obviously boating. A little scary if you're on the canal during hunting season. Woo! Because you do hear, you hear the shotguns during hunting season. So I always forget when that is, and I always find myself somewhere. I don't like hearing shotguns. There's plenty of deer. I don't mind the deer. I don't mind the foxes. I am a little bit afraid of bears. So when you get closer to Western Maryland, there may be bears on the trail. There are also really helpful signs because we do have some invasive species of grass along the path, and so if you find those, the rangers are grateful if you uproot those, as well as if you do some fishing. There are certain species of fish in the Potomac River, unfortunately, that are detrimental to our ecosystem, and if you catch them, you have to kill them. And so here we are. We are in the great state of Maryland. Maryland welcomes you. And we are in Washington County, which is it's really close to Sharpsburg, Maryland. And I'm just gonna come up here to this historic marker. I can't avoid a marker. I'm sorry, I'm trying so hard not to shoot into the sun. Probably a bad idea to do this today, but it's a beautiful day. So here's a nice view of what it looked like. I was with the company that set fire to the bridge, and when the glare of burning timbers, I saw the glowing windows in my home on the hill behind the river. I knew my father was a stockholder in the property I was helping to destroy. How many miles do I walk per day? Well, this is a work day, so I think this is probably just 5. I was gonna park in Shepherdstown and then just walk here and walk back, but I decided to park here. Thank you. I decided to park here just so I could get extra steps in, but I'm not going to be out tomorrow. I'm definitely taking a day off tomorrow. I feel better because I had a broken rib. I guess I still do. And for so many days I was in a lot of pain. And about 2 days ago, I just started feeling so much better. So now I just want to get out and do stuff. So yeah, Abe, you walked with me. How many miles did we do? We probably did 10 miles that day. Well, we did a little more because you weren't with us when we started our day. Oh, I fell down, Abe. 2 weeks ago hiking, a tree root got me, and my arm went under my chest and broke my rib. Yeah, I'm all good now. I was really a mess for a few days. It was terrible. But yeah, Abe, you've walked with me. You know my pace. I was walking way too fast, and I wasn't looking down because I was looking up as usual. And a tree root got me. So yeah. So the cool thing here, we did 15 miles in London. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, I think that day mine probably said 19 because I walked to where we met you from my hotel. And my hotel was quite a ways away too. But to get up on that bridge, see where the bridge is? So we were looking down on the canal. And now I'm walking back down. It's not steps, it's a ramp. Because there's a lot of cyclists. A lot of cyclists and a lot of really rude cyclists on this path down here. It is not fun to be a hiker when a pack of cyclists come behind you early in the morning. But this is a tranquil spot. And a beautiful day. Oh yeah. I'm okay now, Abe. Thank you so much. Yeah, it was like 2 weeks of constant pain. And then about 2 days ago, it was just a miracle and everything felt better. So it was good. And then we have film club tomorrow. Film club is The Sting, Robert Redford, Paul Newman. And there is a book. The book is called The Big Con. So I've read that book. And I'll be on Film Club at 3 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. So they've really done a great job on this trail. This is a paved trail just because, going up on this bridge is quite steep if it weren't for the ramp. Yeah, Pitch Black is next week. So we were behind a week because Jay couldn't join us last week and we did the Monty Python special. So Pitch Black is next week. And honestly, I'm with Jay. I had actually never heard of the film. And I haven't researched. I don't know why. I'm wondering if they called it something else in the U.S. Because we know Riddick, but both of us had not heard of Pitch Black. Learn something new every day. So this area is, this is called the River Lock that we're coming up to. And we're going to get a really peaceful view of the Potomac River. There are always people on this trail, whether I'm in Georgetown, all the way up to Cumberland. This may be one of the most used National Park Service properties. But yeah, this is paved so that folks can get up on the bridge and walk across to Shepherdstown. And you'll see this whole depressed area, this was the canal. So canal boats would have been going all the way from Washington to Cumberland. towed by horses and mules on these towpaths. So the horses and mules would have been yoked to the canals, and then someone with and I don't know the name of the thing, someone with a great long canal pole to steer the canal would have been on the back guiding the canal, full of timber, coal coming down from Pennsylvania and Ohio in coal country down into Washington, D.C. Hey again, Maker. You know, because I had promised that I was going to cross the Potomac, so I had to start a stream again to show that I had crossed the Potomac. And I have now crossed the Potomac. I'm on the beautiful Chesapeake and Ohio Trail, also called the Chesapeake and Ohio Canal Historic Park, which runs from Washington to Cumberland. And the next, excuse me, we've just come from the scenic overlook. Shepherdstown itself is 3/4 of a mile across the bridge, which I just came back from. The next area is the Antietam Aqueduct, which is 3.3 miles, which I've done. I've walked from there to here and back. And you can see Harper's Ferry is 12 miles from here. And how old are those trees? Probably very. I'm sure there are some witness trees here. The National Park Service, along with other local historical societies, have tried to document the trees that might have been here during the Civil War or other historic events, but they won't tell you which ones they are, for good reason, because people will try to take pieces of them. So there are witness trees here. Snyder's Landing is up there. Taylor's Landing is up there. You can take this trail. There's just so much to see on this trail. Just really beautiful things. This is the map clear from Georgetown, right here in Georgetown, where we've filmed, all the way to Great Falls, where we've filmed. I live streamed from Great Falls. All the way to Monocacy. And then Brunswick, Maryland, with a great big huge train depot. Harper's Ferry. I don't think I've live streamed from there. And here we are here. We're at Lock 38. I know, my nails are terrible. Close to Antietam National Battlefield. And I came up from around here in Northern Virginia today. So I was in Northern Virginia and made my way up here. Hi, Gretchen. Yeah, it's a really great, it's a really great place to hike. I love it every time of year. You know, we've got spring here, first day of spring. Happy spring, everyone. And I saw some daffodils already. The trees are starting to bud. So this whole area is really beautiful in the spring because of all the farmland around here. Just driving around the farms is fabulous. Obviously in the fall, walking through the crunchy leaves is wonderful. But my favorite time of year for hiking is the winter. It is absolutely 100% the winter. And I like it because I like the cold. If there's a little bit of snow, I'm happy. I don't like the ice. Definitely don't want the ice. But yeah, you can access the river from here. There are plenty of safe places to fish and to launch boats. There are other parts of the river getting close to Great Falls. And if you've seen my video in Great Falls, you'll know why, where all of that activity is prohibited because it does get dangerous. There are days when this river is so shallow that you'll feel like you can walk across it. And I do not recommend that. It is tempting. it's tempting, especially as a historian, because you know that that our ancestors walked across it. So yeah, definitely tempting for me, but very beautiful and peaceful. When it's nice out and I see people walking, I always say, where were you guys when it was 0 degrees in January? I know, Gretchen, I'm with you. I'm with you 100%. And they all come out with their fancy new shoes and their fancy, oh, look at the buds on this one, and their fancy packs. And their hiking gear is so clean. And you know, they're just the posers. I'll try never to show my shoes on the street. My shoes are a wreck. My sweatshirt is dirty. My pants are torn. If you're a hiker, your clothes are not clean. But yeah, this is lock 38. So depending on, and you guys in Europe know how locks work. It took me a long time to figure the whole locks thing out because I had never seen one operate, in real life until I went to London, actually. But the way this would work is the gate would close on one side so the water could either empty or fill up to either rise or lower the boat, because going south to north in the canal, you are going up in elevation, as opposed to the Shenandoah River, which runs in the opposite direction. It's very confusing. Well, Gretchen, I'm so glad you could join us for this unplanned second stream of the evening. I'm not a YouTuber. I'm a researcher, and I make shorts and little videos just to log my research when I get time off of work, my office job, my non-research job. I try to get out and do history. And I started making videos, and I found that people were actually interested in them, oddly enough. And then I started live streaming, and I met a whole bunch of other people. And it's been wonderful. All right, this time I am definitely signing off from beautiful, now I'm on the Maryland side. So from beautiful Sharpsburg, Maryland, the Chesapeake and Ohio Canal, which is empty, on the banks of the Potomac River, just next to Shepherdstown, and we just went across that bridge. Oh my God, and the traffic on that bridge. Hey, Jamalama, nice to see you. Well, I'm signing off again for the second time. Thank you for joining. Gretchen, it's really great to meet you. Jamalama, it's great to see you. It's been a while. I don't get much time off anymore. But when I do, it's nice to have a nice day to get outside. I hope everyone has a fantastic spring if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, and fall if you're in the Southern Hemisphere. Abe, I know, I do. I need some time to check that out. I sure do, Abe, and I will. Hope to see you all in Film Club tomorrow on Stasis Geeks channel. Daly, thank you so much for being such a great mod. I appreciate it. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.